Chapter 2. Thanks, Mom.
Careful not to shuffle ground cover or rattle tree limbs, Ken hides late into the night, watching the speaker's goons hunt the area. Eventually, he slips unnoticed through the backwoods to his home. Ken slides into bed fully dressed, remembering the phony clan had gotten his address. He borrows Farah's thigh for his pillow, placing both feet on the floor with no plans of closing his eyes. Ken unintentionally dozes off. He's abruptly awakened by a creaking sound. Footsteps from the loose planks of his front porch, he thinks. Drowsy, and not sure he truly heard a noise, he lays still. Seconds later, the speaker's 3 goons take to their job, hatcheting the entry door into shards. Ken and Farah scramble to the front room. Their 3 scared children rush to the commotion as well. Jack is nabbed by one of the droppers, who quickly places a knife to his young throat, holding him hostage. East Coast mobster Mofo Mickey Matos is the man in charge. He holds 2 guns, pointing one at Farah and one at little Joe's head. Ken is outnumbered. He drops his piece.
Give us the spinach you nicked from the grifter, or the ghetto bird becomes a lamppost missing our shade.
Ken moves to retrieve the loot.
Not you, hero. The dame.
Farah freezes.
I'm not here to bump gums. Get them gams moving. Any funny business and your old man here finds deep sleep. And your kid, a Harlem sunset. Move it!
Farah doesn't know the gab, but gets the picture. She quickly retrieves a leather satchel and hands over the stash.
You'll never get away with this. Never!
Instantly, the 3rd hired hand splits Ken's dome with his hatchet.
Oh!
Blood sprays onto young Joe's face. Joe doesn't flinch, however. He stares straight at the hatchet man as his father's warm blood slithers down his face. Ken gives up the ghost. His large shell slams onto the hardwood floor. His spirit exits his body, floating in the room and crying out to deaf ears. Ken's soul fights the spirit world that is beckoning him into the light, but his will to remain with his family is stronger than their attempts to carry him into the afterlife. Mofo Mickey notices Farah's a looker. He violently rips her panties from her, bending her forward, raping her like a just-released convict. Farah goes numb. She doesn't dare fight for fear of her children's lives. The twins watch in horror, but Joe remains unemotional, staring into his mother's distressed eyes as Mickey continues his business. Joe's bravery tells Farah a day of revenge belongs to her young son. Mickey zips his pants.
Thanks, Mom. They don't call me Mofo Mickey for nothing.
He violently grabs Farah's hair.
If you ever want to see your kid alive, and you don't want me doing to him what I just done to you, your sweet lips better stay zipped.
The 3 goons abduct Jack and head into the night.
No! Ouch! Help me!
Farah falls on top of her dead husband, clutching his bloody body. Frightened and confused, little Jerry clings to his mother. Brave little Joe stares at the two with no reaction. Ken's spirit cries in pain as he watches his family suffer. His spirit hopelessly searches for a resting place. Young Joe senses his father's presence and raises his hands high above his head. Ken's spirit spins like a top, forcing its way into Joe's body. Joe's 10-year-old frame jolts as the spirit finds rest. Suddenly, Farah hears Joe's voice. She stops crying. Farah and Jerry look at Joe in amazement because little Joseph doesn't often speak.
Mommy, it will be okay. Daddy lives inside of me now. I named him Jokin. Don't worry, we will find Jack.
Oh, Joseph. Oh, baby.
Farah finds peace. She knows the truth lies within little Joe. It's been 10 miserable years in the Turner household since that dreadful night. Jerry and Joe have grown up and moved on with their own lives as best they can. All alone in her empty house, Farah's only reason for living is the hope of one day seeing her son Jack alive.